Hey guys, so this video was requested by one of my friends who just started bass fishing. You love to see it. He wanted to know what tackle I would buy if I was just starting out. I only had $100 and this stuff was guaranteed to catch me some fish. So I made a list. Let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dishes and Fishes, where I show you how to cook and set hooks. Be sure to check out my Instagram and my TikTok. I have a lot of good content on there that I think may help you if you're interested in either cooking or fishing. So let's get into this $100 tackle list. So obviously there is a lot of tackle that should make the list of tackle that every angler must own. But as I was making this list, I based it largely on two things: how easy it is to fish these lures and their ability to catch fish in most seasons. I'll put links in the description below for each of these products. So let's start it off. The first item on our list is the wide gap hook. I like the Gamakatsu wide gap hooks if you can get a good price on them. The ones I found online were 25 hooks for $14, which is pretty good. They're gonna last you a while. And you wanna get either a size 3/0 or 4/0. 3/0 is for 3-inch plastics, 4/0 is for 4-inch plastics. I feel like the 3/0 is a little bit more versatile because you can use smaller baits. This is obviously ideal for Texas rig soft plastics, which is one of the main ways I think a beginner should be catching bass. So that's the first item on my list. Next, we've got a Senko, clocking in at $7. Probably the beginner bass fisherman's best friend. You can catch fish all year long with this thing. My favorite color of Senko is green and white laminate. It's green with a white belly. And you're gonna want a Texas rig or wacky rig this plastic in order to catch fish. Senko, next item, $7. Next, we've got the Xzone Fluke. I love Flukes. You know this. I throw them all the time. They work really well. Smallmouth, largemouth, pike, lots of stuff will eat these. For colors, I like anything with blue and silver. This one's called Smoke and Shad. White ice is another good color. Deadly and clear water in May up here. I absolutely slay them with this. Check out my video on fluke fishing if you want to know more about it. This is going to go with your wide gap hook that we talked about on this list. Next, we've got Kyteks. There's a lot of swim baits on the market, and if you play around, you can probably find one that you build some confidence in. And for me, I like the Keitech 3.8-inch fat swim baits. They're so good for just by themselves. They're good on the back of swim jigs. They're good on the back of spinner baits. They're good with underspins. They're good chatterbaits. They're just good. They just catch fish. So a very versatile bait, especially for somebody that's just starting out. They are expensive. That's clocking in at $9, but trust me, you want to have this if you're starting out because they work. I'm a sucker for those blue and white colors. I like the bluegill flash. I think that this one is called Smallmouth Magic. You can't really go wrong. Keitech 3.8-inch swim impact fat. In order to fish the Keitech, you're gonna need a Jighead hook. I would recommend a 1/4 ounce ball Jighead hook starting out. That's gonna give you a nice slow fall so you can fish it shallow, you can fish it deep, to suit whatever season that you're fishing at this particular time of year. I found what I think is a good price for a beginner in bass fishing. Pair that with your Keitech, slow roll it, swim it fast, play around, and you'll get bites. Jighead hooks clocking in at $8. I try to avoid putting baits on this list that it's only one bait, but I had to put this one on. The Berkeley Hijacker. This bait has slowly become my favorite topwater bait. You can see the teeth marks in this. I'm gonna do a video on this bait this year just because I love this bait so much. Out of frogs, poppers, buzz baits, what is the propellery looking one? River to sea, whopper plopper. I can get more bites with this than all those put together if I can get it through the grass and whatnot. 3 treble hooks, you don't lose many fish on this thing. The walking style Berkeley Hijacker slays. Berkeley Hijacker clocking in at $8. Next, we've got a War Eagle Spinnerbait clocking in at $7. You can catch fish with a spinnerbait pretty much all year, and they're really easy to fish. I like War Eagle spinnerbaits the best. I actually have started building my own spinnerbaits and designing them based on War Eagle's skirt pattern. I also have a video I did on spinnerbaits too if you want to know the basics about spinnerbaits. War Eagle spinnerbait, $7. This is mine. This is War Eagle. Next, we've got a 1/4 ounce Shaky Head hook, clocking in at $11. Fishing with a Shaky Head is a pretty lethal finesse tactic. You can use it all year long. For a beginner fishing from a kayak or fishing from shore, fishing from a boat, Shaky Head's gonna get you bites anywhere you go. I like the 1/4 ounce as an all-purpose Shaky Head hook. Slower fall, can fish it deep, shallow, can do a lot of things with it. Shaky Head, Jig Head, $11. Now we're gonna need worms for that Shaky Head. My favorite finesse worm this year has become the Xzone finesse worm in Summer Craw. And my next favorite is the Zoom trick worm, just a classic finesse worm. This particular color is plum apple. You can't really go wrong. I also like, I think it's called an Okeechobee craw or something like that. It's like bluish. Can't go wrong. Both of these worms are going to fish really well in that Shaky Head. Xzone finesse worm, zoom trick worm. Fish them on a Shaky Head and you'll get bites. Both of these worms are clocking in at $5. We're only gonna pick one for our bill of materials here. Was trying to avoid putting just single lures on this list, but I had to put this one on. The Strike King Red Eye Shad. I threw this thing a lot last year and I caught fish from March all the way to October, November. This thing is really fun. Rip it through the grass, you can yo-yo it. I have a few videos where I mention lipless crankbait fishing if you want to check them out. This thing rocks, especially in grass. No pun intended there. Fish it slow, fish it fast, deep, shallow, super versatile, and gets bites. Red Eye Shad clocking in at $9. I could only put one of these on this list and still keep it under $100, but we've got a football jig. There's a ton of football jigs out there. The one I'll put in the description will be an Outcast Tackle brand. I like the green crawdad color in 3/8 ounce. Sky's the limit with jigs. There's so many colors and weights and variations. In my opinion, if I was starting out, I would get something with green pumpkin, just because that's kind of a good starter color in my opinion. You're pretty much guaranteed to get bites with it, but it is good to have other jigs in your box to change up color and whatnot. Football jig clocking in at $5. Now we need a jig trailer, which I don't have any of these right now. I have yet to do my tackle order for 2021, but my favorite jig trailer is a Zoom Z-Hog, clocking in at $5. It's kind of a do-nothing trailer. It doesn't have a lot of action, but it just works good. If you just pitch a jig in this trailer around, I bet you will get bites no matter where you are in the USA. That brings our total to $96, and with our last $4, I would purchase either some Ned hooks or some finesse Senko hooks. If you're a beginner and you're fishing for smallmouth, I think one of those techniques definitely needs to be in your arsenal, and you can use any of those worms that we talked about in the video with those hooks. I have a few videos on my page explaining fishing with Senkos and fishing the Senko rig. Check those out, but those are two good hooks to have in your terminal box. So that brings our total to $101, and with that box, guys, you're guaranteed to catch fish, and you could also catch quality fish with those lures. There's some techniques that I think you should learn as a beginner, including flipping and pitching, as well as the drop shot, but those are for once you master fishing with these basic lures. In addition, if I was starting out in bass fishing, I would buy a spool of 12-pound braid and 10-pound fluorocarbon. I think those lines are both strong enough to catch both largemouth and smallmouth with bait casting and spinning tackle. Depending on exactly what you're doing is going to depend on what line you get, but I would start with either 12-pound braid or 10-pound fluorocarbon and adjust from there. I also already did a video on cheap rods that I think beginner bass fishermen should know about. I've been fishing with some of those rods for 3+ years now, so if you're in the market for a cheap bass fishing rod, check that video out. So that's it, guys. There's a lot of tackle that you could argue should be on this list, but again, I wanted it to be easy for you and I wanted these things to work. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Check out the description for links on all these materials. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.